Why am I so turned on watching him eat his 4th grilled cheese? Don't ask me! The only reason that I finished this one in this series was because I had the audiobook going and I couldn't turn it off because my hands were dirty. Hi, thank you for clicking on the video. My name is Kaylee and this is Read, Rant, Review, where, you guessed it, I read books and I do rant reviews. Today we're going to be talking about Merry Ever After by Tessa Bailey. This is one of 5 books in the Under the Mistletoe collection that was published in November of 2024. I did a review of Allie Hazelwood's Cruel Winter with You last week, and in an attempt to get some holiday cheer, I wanted to read the rest that were in the collection. They're short reads, they're like 55 to under 100 pages. I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need to maybe get into like the Christmas spirit. Didn't do it for me. If anything, I feel less Christmassy now. Oh Lord have mercy. I DNF'd the 3 other books that were in this. The only reason that I finished this one in this series was because I had the audiobook going and I was painting a wall in the house and I couldn't turn it off because my hands were dirty. That's the only reason I finished this. And I'm sharing it with you now because it's hilarious and I think we all just need a good laugh sometimes. I will give the same 3 disclaimers that I do for all of these kinds of videos. The first one being, this review is not for Tessa Bailey. It's not for friends, fans, family stans, anything like that. I will be making fun of this book relentlessly. Number 2, the second disclaimer is this will be a beat-by-beat, chapter-by-chapter breakdown. It's 55 pages. You're not missing much. It's only like 6 chapters. And then the third disclaimer is usually a content or trigger warning. There's nothing, dude. This one's just very lighthearted, very fun, okay? Our book opens with Evie. She's in her 20s, and she's from Chicago, but after having a falling out with a boyfriend, she runs away. She ends up in a small town in Texas. Why Texas of all places? That's kind of weird. When she was a kid, her and her mom went on a little cross-country drive, and they made a stop in this little town because it had a giant ant statue. Yes, ant. Like the bug. The world's biggest ant statue was in this little small town roadside thing. And so that was like a really good memory of hers. And so when her life went to shit and she needed to restart, it sounded great. She works in the thrift shop and then she stays in the apartment above the thrift shop. The owners are really hooking her up and doing her a solid. In this day, while she is working, there is a big old farmer man. He's just a hulking giant. Right? He is described, he's biblically huge, at least 6 feet 6 inches of brute force, broad and stacked, filthy from farm work, mean looking. A grizzly bear wouldn't cross his path. And large, big, giant, huge, any other like synonyms, I searched for all of them in this, are used like 30 times, which means almost once per page we are reminded at how large this man is, this giant farmer. So he's in there, and he's so big that he can't even find any pants. Pants just don't fit him. This is the 3rd time that he's come into the thrift store and gone into the dressing room with a stack of pants, and just nothing works. And this time, he ends up tearing a pair when he's, like, taking them off. So he pays for it and apologizes for the mess that he made. Just like the last 3 times, the farmer has attempted to find jeans that fit in the thrift shop where I work. In the seconds right before he leaves, he looks at me like he wants to say something. Maybe ask my name, maybe ask for my number. Part of me wishes he would. The rest of me hopes that he doesn't, because I would have to decline. The 5-month-old baby sleeping in the tiny back office ensures that I don't have time to date. I'm lucky they let me bring my son to work. Lucky the elderly couple who owns the shop allows me an entire rack to display my upcycled designs and keep the cash it generates. That they're lenient with me if something comes up with Sonny, like a pediatrician appointment or a cold. This isn't the kind of town that takes chances on a blow-in from the city, so yeah, I'm lucky. Hoping for anything more would be selfish. I'm not very smart about choosing men anyway. The farmer could have a mean streak or mommy issues, a pet boa constrictor roaming freely around his house. Perhaps he chats about agriculture with a mannequin propped up in his kitchen. Who knows? Bottom line, I wouldn't give him my number. What? Okay. So the farmer goes to leave and she stops him and she says, I could make you some jeans, custom. His boots scrape to a stop, and he looks back at me through narrowed eyes. That sounds like a fuss. It wouldn't be. I like making clothes. Back and forth, a little bit of flirting, a little bit of tension between the two. He asks her name. We find out his name is Luke. Luke's good old country boy. She offers to make him these pants, and he keeps turning it down because of the whole fuss thing, and just says, maybe if some bigger jeans come in, you could just set them aside for me. I don't see that happening, Luke. You're one of a kind. I'm always thinking the same about you. My son takes the indecision out of my hands when he starts to cry from inside the pack and play where he's sleeping in the rear office. Indecision because they were kind of flirting, and she didn't know if she wanted to keep flirting with him or not. Luke's eyes widen as if to ask, is that yours? I lift my chin in confirmation. His expression darkens, and he's out the door before Sonny's next wail. Apparently, drifter single mothers aren't his type. I murmur to my son a minute later while cradling him in my arms, walking him back and forth in front of the register to calm him. His loss, isn't it, kid? I refuse to acknowledge how much Luke's reaction has let me down. Silly, so silly. I only learned his name 10 minutes ago, and I don't want to date. I can't. I don't know any babysitters and couldn't afford one if I did, but still. You know what, Sonny? Screw the measurements. I'm going to make him the best pair of jeans in his life. He's not going to dismiss me so easily. So in chapter 2, we go to Luke's perspective. I'm bouncing in and out of the southern accent. It is so hard for me to turn off, to switch on and off from it. It's so bad. But I have to use a southern one for Luke. It's only he's a Texas boy. Of course, we got to go southern. Anyway, so from Luke's perspective, Jesus Christ, Kaylee. So in chapter 2, we open up from Luke's perspective. He's having a coffee in the morning, hanging out, kind of reflecting on life when he sees Evie walking down his driveway with the little baby, obviously, and a bag in her hand. And he's thinking, let me tell you, it's a sight. Something's got her a little mad this morning, but not mad enough to step on the chickens in her path. No, even through the window, I can hear her apologize to them as she closes the distance to my door, and that makes me feel some kind of way. I'm not sure what the feeling is called yet. Only that she's the only one who seems to give it to me. A married woman. Of course, I told a married woman she was one of a kind. I'm surprised her husband hasn't shown up with a shotgun yet to put a bullet in me. I wouldn't even blame him. If she was my wife, I'd put the fear of God into anyone who showed interest in her, especially out loud like I did. He sees the bag that she's carrying, but he's distracted because all he can do is just stare at her and admire her features. And he notes she has a beautiful stubborn nose and an Irish chin. What in the fuck is an Irish chin? And what is a stubborn nose? What does that mean? I'm going to try and Google it, and I'll put up maybe some screenshots or whatever, but I was like, I have never heard those terms in my life, but it sounds offensive. And then, oh God. Okay, so hey, I don't even think this video is going to get monetized because of the words that are about to come out of my mouth, okay? Please, for the love of God, if you have to look me in the eye in real life, go away. Turn back. So then he thinks to himself, Jesus, she's got some nice sturdy hips. A lot of men don't notice that type of thing, but a man my size does. She would handle me well. And the fact that she already has a man should make me ashamed that I fucked my fist in bed this morning to thoughts of her bent over the counter of her shop, moaning while I gave it to her good and proper from behind. Hello? We're on page 12. What is happening? I know that this is only a 55-page book, but god damn, this is escalating so quickly. Finally, she's at the door. He's drawn out of his thoughts of inappropriate things with his hand, and she holds the bag out to him, and she says, here, take this, please. It's jeans, she made him the pants. Go try them on, please. If they need adjustments, I'll bring them back to the store. I can't think of a single thing to say. This woman not only designed jeans big enough for my too big body, but she also walked here to deliver them with a baby in tow. It's amazing, touching, surprising. It's unacceptable is what it is. I told you not to fuss. I tried to growl, but I sound winded instead. I am. She knocked the breath out of me. As the oldest of 4 siblings, I'm the one who goes out of my way to make sure everyone has what they need. I've never had anyone do the same for me. The gesture makes me feel unsettled, like I don't deserve such a gift. Why do you have such a fixation on fussing? I don't like it. That much is clear. I haven't done anything for you. I cut myself off, feeling extremely foolish. I'm sorry. Let me get some money. I don't want it. She still has that temper up. Why? Did her husband piss her off? Because I'd be more than happy to go sort him out. You trying them on and having them fit will be payment enough. We'll call it an early Christmas present. A discomfiting? DISCOMFITING. Discomfiting? I have never heard that word before. Thought occurs to me. You don't want me to come back to the store anymore. Is that it? That's why you did this? Her hazel eyes softened slightly. What? No. I just wanted to show you what I'm capable of. A single mother made those jeans, okay? The fact that I made them in between feedings and naps and work and bath time is what makes me one of a kind, not my tits. Got it? Single mother. She's a single mother, and I'm an unbelievable idiot. I made an incorrect assumption based on my own upbringing and preconceived notions about what a family consists of, and guilt is worming its way through my gut, but what I don't understand is her implication that I somehow think she's less impressive or simply less because she's unmarried with a child. Why don't you explain why you're pissed off at me so we can straighten it out? You dismissed me when you heard Sonny crying. I saw it and I shouldn't even care. We don't know each other. I guess maybe you didn't mean it, but I've gotten that look a lot in the last 5 months and I just had to do something about it for me. I didn't dismiss you, Evie. When I heard the baby crying, I assumed you were married. I just gotten finished telling you what I said and walked away because that was the right thing to do when someone's attached. She loses her head of steam while absorbing that. Loses her head of steam? Am I fucking stroking out? Dude, Tessa Bailey writes so weird. There's a couple other phrases that happen in this book that I'm just like, I feel like I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I raise an eyebrow. She raises one back. I put mine down. Hell, this woman has me tied up in all kinds of fucking knots this morning. The first time I saw her, I decided she was out of my league. The second time, I confirmed it. Yep, way out. I haven't changed my mind either. She's young and sexy, and good God, she's full of fire and spirit. Talent, and she loves that baby too. I can see it in the way that she cradles his head like she's trying to protect him from the world. She's nurturing on top of everything else. A man could fall in love and stay there with this one. Stay there forever. Something about her on my doorstep feels right, like she was just meant to show up sooner or later. He offers for her to come inside and take a seat. She's hesitant. Understandably so. And so he offers to bring a chair outside for her to sit down, which is really sweet. I'm not going to lie, that's actually kind of nice. But she decides she will. Entering a stranger's home is frowned upon where I come from, but it would be nice to sit down for a minute. I realized about halfway here that these boots are more style than substance. You got a blister? He starts freaking out that she's in pain, that he caused her pain because she walked there to make him the pants. He takes it personal, so now he's like, I must save woman in pain. Goes and gets his first aid kit. The baby's starting to squirm in the sling around her chest. She rocks subtly side to side, cooing him while I locate the first aid kit in one of the kitchen cabinets. During one of my many glances at her over my shoulder, I notice her wince and straighten her spine. Carrying the baby all the way here must have been hell on your back. Do you want to lie him down on my bed? A small hesitation. Maybe, just for a minute or two. I indicate to the back hallway with a nod. It's just through there. So this woman this is the fourth time that she has ever seen this man. The second time that she has ever exchanged words with him beyond a friendly hello. Goes into a strange man's house with her baby, then puts the baby in another room all by itself. What? She returns a moment later, looking like her load has been lightened, and sits down once again, her gaze heating up my back while I gather the supplies I need. What does she think when she looks at me? Is it possible she admires my size, or does she simply want to gawk like everyone else? They have a little bit of back and forth. He's getting to know her while he's tending to her feet and asking, how she ended up in this small town. She tells him the ant story that I mentioned earlier about this ant statue, and we learn a little bit more lore. It's very cute, actually, that her mom had kind of come up with this fairy tale almost, that if she were to ever kiss the ant, he was like a prince and he would come to life. But Luke finds himself getting jealous of a fucking ant statue. And so he asks her, he's like, are you looking for a Prince Charming? She says, no, I've got other stuff to deal with. I'm not looking for anything like that. He says, what are you looking for? She says, friends with benefits. Oh my God. Also, I can't fathom wanting to be in a friends with benefits situation after you got burned so bad that you had to move across the country with a 5-month-old baby. I get people got needs, but like, couldn't be me. Chapter 3, we're back to Evie's perspective, and it's a whole thing. Having this very big man is capitalized, like the V, B, and M are capitalized. What the fuck? What a choice. Very big man, kneeling at my feet, fixing my blisters. Up close, he smells like land, wind, earth, hard leather. His skin is so weathered, it's almost like the sun has baked some of the farm's richest soil into his flesh. She's just thirsting over him, and he keeps trying to pay her or give her something for these jeans. She keeps saying no, it's a freaking present. You can't accept a pair of jeans? No. I'm standing in front of him now, close enough to feel the heat of his thick torso, his breath on the crown of my head. Wait, so how tall is she? If he's 6'6", I feel like that's not right. You wouldn't feel his breath, right? Unless she's a giant too. Anyway, I'm warning you, if you don't take my money, I'm going to return the favor in a different way, and you won't see it coming. Ooh, scary, I say, tipping my head back and faking a shiver, although that shiver becomes real and warm when I catch him staring at my mouth like it's chocolate gelato. I guess I just have to take my chances then, Luke. His throat works. Do you want to be kissed, or am I dreaming? I allow my breasts to meet his chest. He breaks off a sound. Try it and find out. And so then they start making out. He twists his fist in the rear waistband of my jean shorts and draws me up onto my toes like that, the denim pressure against my core making me whimper. What are you interested in? He asks, looking me in the eye, tugging at my waistband. I already told you, Luke. Friends with benefits is for boys, and I ain't no boy. She's like, okay, cool, like, let's not call it that. Like, it won't be called friends with benefits, like, but we can do adult time stuff. What do you want to call it? Fucking my woman, that's what it would be. I wouldn't be your woman. I'm my own woman. How about this, sweetheart? If you still don't want to be called my woman after I've given it to you down and dirty, I'll let you call me your friend with benefits. She says, deal. I won't be easy, Evie. You understand what I'm telling you? You're big all over. He says, yes. They don't make jeans that fit me, and they don't make many women that fit me either. Oh my God. So then they start, like, they're about to start doing stuff. She's thinking about calling him daddy, which, like, also seems really weird to me. Again, this whole, like, single mom thing with your kid in the other room and you're just calling a strange man daddy. Like, again, I get it. People got their shit they're into, but, like, god damn, that feels weird to me. Sonny starts to cry in the back bedroom. The familiar and beloved sound is like having a dagger's blade sink into my side. Over the course of the last several minutes, I totally forgot my son was asleep on this man's bed. I lost myself. I forgot my top priority. Is that what this man is going to make me do? If so, he's dangerous. He's what I vowed to avoid. Committing myself to someone when I need to be totally committed to myself, my son. I have to go. There's something happening here, Evie. I know. I know. It doesn't exactly scream at casual, does it? Nope. You'll decide what this is and how fast it moves, but I'm going to do everything I can to help you decide in my favor. You, Evie, are in my goddamn favor in whatever capacity you allow me. But I'm going to say something for the record one time, just so it's clear. You're a package deal with your boy, and I'm not scared of that. She gets the kid, and Luke drives her home because, again, she's all blistered and in pain and stuff, and he's, whatever, being a gentleman. She goes upstairs into her house and she's thinking to herself, despite what I've been forced to believe about romance and commitment and men, I can't help but acknowledge Luke might be a distraction from my priorities, but he wouldn't be a disappointment. I don't say this often. She's a horrible fucking mother. Oh my god, bro. What are you talking about? 5 months old. Oh my god. Just not giving a shit about this kid, dude. Just giving up the child for some inappropriate adult time. In chapter 4, we're back in Luke's perspective, and it's Christmas Eve, and he decided that he was going to get Evie a present. He bought her a bicycle that has a little baby seat carrier thing on the back of it. So he shows up to her house to give this to her as a little surprise, and she's flattered, and she's just overwhelmed with how kind that this is, and she's making dinner, and so she offers for him to come inside, and she'll go ahead and cook for him as well. And he offers to hold Sonny while she's cooking, and so she lets this large, strange man into her home and then has this large stranger man hold her baby. Hey man, I get it. I got some trauma, right? I got some family trauma and shit that I carry that, like, I'm very, very protective of kids, but I'd be goddamned if I let a strange man hold my kid. I think even if he offered that, which he did, red fucking flag, my guy. Don't hold my child. Don't even fucking look at my kid, would be my response. Like, get your skyscraper ass out of here. She just hands the baby over. She has no idea I feel as though I've just won the lottery. That exchange of trust wasn't easy for her, but she did it. She trusts me. I want more of it. At the end, as she's finishing the grilled cheeses, she asks him, how many grilled cheeses should I make you? 3 or 4? That seals it. I'm marrying her, come hell or high water. That's all it takes. Chapter 5, from Evie's perspective, Luke holds the baby, like, all through dinner and afterward, and then eventually Sunny falls asleep, and so they walk back to the bedroom to put the baby down into the crib. It's a 1-bedroom apartment, so the crib is in the same room as her bed, obviously. And she's talking about how she's like, I know the house is small, and oh, I skipped over this. When she was watching him eat grilled cheeses earlier, she asked herself, why am I so turned on watching him eat his 4th grilled cheese? To which, I don't fucking know. Don't ask me. I have no idea. They're putting the kid down. She's telling him about how she's, like, wanting a bigger place. I try to put half my money away from selling my designs into a house fund. We'll see. I'd love for him to have a yard, space to run around. I've got plenty of that. Space. Anytime you want to use it, sweetheart. What exactly are you hoping for here? With me? I'm hoping for you. Whatever that looks like, however much time it takes. You know that saying, if something is too good to be true, it probably is? Yeah. That's what this feels like. I'm too good to be true? Me? You bought me a bike, Luke. You're good with my son? You made me jeans that fit. You apologized to my chickens for making them get out of your way. The last thing I expect is for him to physically pick me up, but that's what happens. In fact, I'm tossed up in his arms like pizza dough. And so he takes her to the living room with her sleeping child in the next room, and then they have spicy time. And it might possibly be the most cringy, spicy thing I've ever had to read. And that's the only reason that I'm doing this review, is so that I can share these quotes with you. He sits on the couch. She's on her knees between his legs. And the closer that I get to his mounting, the faster he breathes, his fingers digging into the couch cushion. Lust brackets his mouth. Again, hey, what the f*** are these terms? What are these words? What does that mean? Lust brackets his mouth? And so then she's, like, going on and, like, taking his pants off and stuff. And he says, it ain't. It ain't built for sucking, sweetheart. And then goes on and, like, explains what she can do to him instead. But she takes that as a challenge. So then she succeeds in stuff. She says, I think you were built for sucking. I murmur, then rake my teeth up and down the side of his. And I'm like, that doesn't sound enjoyable. I don't think you're supposed to do that. Rake my teeth? They go, oh God, Jesus Christ, I forgot that part. So then he reciprocates. Okay, yay, we love equality in this house. And he's touching her, and he's like, how am I going to be able to stop touching you long enough to go and get a condom? She says, you don't have to. I'm on the pill, and I just went to the doctor. Like, they don't use one. Hey, we didn't ask him. Has he been to the doctor recently? Hello? What do you mean? He didn't even say anything. And also, like, you should still probably use one. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? So that they do. They do it. And he's taking her, like, dress off. And he says, get the straps down and show me them tits. Oh my God, it's like pages upon pages. And then he says, toward the end, come on then, woman, and take some dick. Waltz into my town and make me hard, leaning over the counter of the shop to show me your pretty round tits. I saw them, baby. Now they're mine. They're yours, yes. And she calls him daddy again. I just can't do this. Like, at the end of it, he says, I'll work my ass off for this tight thing. I'd sweat all day under 10 suns for one little hit. taken me so deep, baby. All the way to my balls. Good girl. He's like, wow, I could do this. Like, we need to do this again. And she says, anytime, Luke. You can do it anytime. How about for the rest of my fucking life, Evie? The hell? So she gets a little thrown off by that. Because, like, god damn, bro. Y'all did it one time. Again, third conversation now that they've ever had beyond pleasantries. You're talking about forever? I'm sure that was great, but oh my god. I've lost control over how fast this relationship is moving, so much so that it feels like a relationship already. What I thought would be a mutual swap of pleasure turned out to be more. The way he took me was more of a vow, a possession, than anything that belongs in a friends with benefits situation. And he says to her as he's leaving for the day, because he understands he kind of overstepped, and he says, I'd rather die than scare you or push you more than you're ready to give, but I've made my position clear. If you want to be mine, if you want me to be yours, you know where to find me. We go to chapter 6. This is the last chapter of the book. We're in Luke's perspective, and he says, maybe I've made a mistake. It's New Year's Day, and a week has passed with no sign of Evie, the girl who ripped my soul clean out of my body on her living room floor. He's reflecting about the ways that he messed up the situation, and he's thinking, for starters, I shouldn't have left. At the time, her clamming up on me and panicking, it seemed like the only option to give her that space, but I'd just gotten finished telling her what I wanted forever. So maybe I made myself seem unreliable by leaving. Wishy-washy. That's the last thing I am when it comes to Evie. I know what I want. I want her. I need her. I want you. So... he's chilling, reflecting, being a little sad boy on his front porch, and he hears a weird noise. And it's Evie on her little bicycle. She rode her bike to come and visit him. He's like, I thought you'd never show up. She says, well, here I am. I made you something. Did you? She nods. It was impulsive. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but maybe I should wait to give it to you. No, please. I'd like to see it, whatever it is. With a swallow, she reaches into the woven basket of the front of the bike and takes out a folded length of material, navy blue. I take it from her and turn it over in my hands, but I can't tell exactly what it is until I let it. It's a baby sling, a king-size one that will fit me. Unable to speak, I put on the sling and go around to the baby seat and unstrap Sonny and tuck him carefully into the swatch of material until I'm satisfied that he's nestled safely against my chest. When I finally feel like I'm not going to be swept off in a tide of emotion, I kiss my woman while her son squirms between us. If I have it my way, it'll be the first of 10 million kisses. You're both welcome here as often as you want, Evie. I say against her mouth, voice gruff, my heart telling me not to hold back even after all the self-doubt I've been living with for a week. You're welcome forever if you want it. Forever sounded less and less scary every day I spent away from you. Dude, that sounds mean. That doesn't sound like a positive sentence, right? Forever sounded less and less scary every day that I spent away from you. I understand the sentiment, like I get what it's trying to say, but like, I think I would be offended if I heard that at first. You let me know when it's no longer scary at all, Evie. I will. We hold hands on our way into the house, and I'm pretty sure I don't let go for hours. That's it. That's the book. The epilogue is 7 years later, and I think they got a bunch of kids running around. I don't know. I didn't read it. I don't plan to. So, yeah, what the fuck was that? I have a Tessa Bailey book that I got from Book Outlet for like $4. I'm going to go drop this off in my local little library thing. Fuck that. Not to be rude, but like, oh my God. That was weird. I just had a stutter because I don't have any other words to describe what I just consumed. She's such a bad mom. That whole story, that's all I could think. So then I went through it, and when I was trying to read the other ones that were in the series, the one is about adjunct professors at a university who end up having like a workplace romance. I only got like a couple pages into that, and I said, oh, this third person, this writing, I can't do it. The second one that I tried to read, or I guess technically the fourth one that I tried to read, was about a woman who is just so inept that she just can't do anything and ends up burning cookies so bad that it like starts a fire, and 911 had to get called. And then the fireman is flirting with her. And then literally the very next day, she's trying to hang Christmas lights and ends up getting stuck. And so they have to call 911 yet again. And then it's just like a flirty thing with the fireman. And then that's the relationship. I don't know. I stopped reading. I said, I can't. When women are infantilized or are ditzy stupid, I cannot consume that material. It drives me so crazy. And so I said, ugh. put that one down. I didn't even try the 5th book in the series. I didn't even give that one a shot because I got burnt out. I've only ever DNF'd 1 or 2 other books in my lifetime, and I DNF'd both of those. You know how bad it has to be for that to happen? Oh my god. So I at least had to tell you guys this story so I didn't waste my fucking life reading horrible Christmas stuff. I feel even less cheery. I feel less jolly after consuming that. Happy holidays, guys. I think I'm putting this up like on the Monday before Christmas. This should be the last Christmas content or like holiday related content. Then we'll go back to the regularly scheduled programming, once a week, random stuff. So make sure that you vote in the polls that I put up on Fridays or Saturdays so you let me know what you want to see me read, what you want to see me do. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.